Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to emulate PS4 games on your PC. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I'm going to be using FPPS4, but there are a few things I want to clarify before I go any further. Number one, FPPS4 is still very early on in development. It's not fully fleshed out, options are very limited. It's not necessarily glamorous, and it doesn't run a whole bunch of games. At this point in time, I think it runs about 70 games overall. And that brings me to the second point. You will have to provide your own games, and based on my experience, .pkg seems to work the best. Now, all of the required programs except for the games are free and open source. The first thing you'll need to pick up is FPPS4, and at the time of filming, it's version 0.0.1. I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below. The file size is about 3.3 megabytes. The second file you'll need is Temmie's Launcher. It's also available on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. At the time of filming, it's version 1.2. And if you scroll down, this one's a little bit bigger, sitting at 147 megabytes. The third thing you'll need is a PKG editor, and I'll drop a link to this GitHub in the description below as well. If you scroll down on the page here, you'll see PKG editor 0.2-231, and this is the zip file you'll need. It's not very big. The fourth thing you'll need is an nw.js file, and it's available right on Temmie's Launcher's GitHub page. Again, I'll drop a link in the description below. If you scroll down to how to install, you'll see the nw.js highlighted in blue. Feel free to click on it. The fifth item here is optional based on my testing, but will vary from person to person and everyone's own preferences, but that has to deal with the PS4 libraries. These may be difficult to find. There are some open source ones, at least I believe they're open source. They're available on GitHub. Feel free to check it out. So once you've downloaded everything, feel free to reference this list here just to make sure that you've got everything you need, because it is pretty easy to accidentally forget something and then run into a massive headache when you're trying to launch a game. Now at this point in time, I've gone ahead and created a brand new folder called FPPS4 just to keep everything nice and tidy. And what I'm going to do from here is extract the entire launcher file into there. Once everything finishes extracting, open up the launcher program. Now, as far as I know, everything is safe here, but Windows doesn't really seem to think so. If you don't want to continue, you don't have to, but your emulation journey stops here. If you want to continue, click More Info and then click Run Anyway. So if you did click Run Anyway, Temmie's Launcher should boot up and you should get an error message. Feel free to click OK and then close down this program. Now if you take a look at the folder where you extracted the launcher, you should see some brand new folders in here, and that's exactly what we want to see. What we're going to do now is put the FPPS4 emulator in here. So open up FPPS4 version 0.0.1 and take out FPPS4. Then go back into the FPPS4 folder, go to Emu and put FPPS4 in there. You should see something like this. From here, we're going to open up nw.js and extract all of these files into the FPPS4 folder. Now for me, I find the easiest thing to do is a simple copy and paste. So I've just copied all of these files here. I'm going to go back into FPPS4 and paste them all right in here. Now this next step is completely optional, and if you've got your own PS4 libraries, feel free to use those instead. But what I'm going to do is just copy this file here and place it right in FPPS4 under lib, and simple as that. And the very last step is to use the package editor you downloaded to make your games playable within FPPS4. You can see here I've got Sonic Mania and the update for Sonic Mania both in .pkg files. If I try to use these in FPPS4, they're not going to work. What I've done to prep FPPS4 in order to make things work and make things look good is go to the games folder here and create a blank folder called Sonic Mania, because that's the game I'm bringing in. You can see there's absolutely nothing in this folder. So now what I'm going to do is extract this package editor and open it. When package editor opens up, click File and Open and locate your game in .pkg format. From here, open up the PKG and it should auto-populate with a whole bunch of information. Now you don't really need to change anything at all here. Just click Export to GP4 Project. From here, locate your FPPS4 folder, click on Games, and then click on the folder that you just created for your game. For me, I'm clicking on Sonic Mania and clicking save. If everything goes well, you should get this nice OK message. Now this next step is completely optional, but if you've got a game update, you can apply it to your game in this fashion as well. Click File and Open. From here, locate your update file and open it. Then click Export to GP4 Project. Find your FPPS4 folder, go to Games, and go to the folder that you just extracted the game to. For me, I'm clicking on Sonic Mania, and I'm going to click Save here. It lets me know that project.gp4 already exists, and do I want to replace it? I'm going to click Yes. And when all said and done, it gives me a nice OK message, and I'm pretty much good to go. The next step is to boot back up Temmie's launcher, so I'm going to open up FPPS4 and double click on Launcher. If you've done everything correctly so far, Temmie's launcher should boot up and you should see your games list. For me, it's just showing Sonic Mania because that's the only game I put in. And you can see it's the correct version, 1.04, so my update worked. Now from here you can play the game if you'd like, or you can click on settings. There aren't a whole lot of settings, but you can change around a few things if you'd like. For example, your game paths, your library path, or even your FPPS4 path. And on top of that, if you've got multiple PS4 libraries, you can select your library from this list right here. You can see I've only got one, and I only put that in there for the purposes of this video just to demonstrate the library. So now for the moment of truth, I'm going to boot up Sonic Mania to see what happens. As soon as I click on it, I've got a whole bunch of options here for different hacks. These will not be uniform for every single game out there. You're going to have to fiddle with these to see what works and what doesn't, and it's going to work different for different people. I'm not going to use any of these just for this video. I'm just going to click Run FPPS4. And lo and behold, here's Sonic Mania up and running. If you wanted to check the frame rate, it is displayed at the very top. I'm getting in the mid 40s. Not the best, but at the same time, I don't have any hacks enabled. Now, when we talk about controllers, this is where FPPS4 really shows its infancy. It just recently got support for X-input controllers like Microsoft Xbox controllers and other PC controllers that support X-input. If you plug a PS4 controller into your PC by default and don't change anything, it's not going to work with FPPS4. FPPS4 also works with mouse and keyboard. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Remember, FPPS4 is still in its infancy. If anything major changes, I'll have to update this video, but hopefully it was enough just to get you up and running with it. As for game compatibility, check a link in the description below and you can see exactly what games are compatible with it and what games are having issues and what games don't work at all. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.